So nowadays, cloud computing, data engineering, this is quite a hot in demand, booming factor or carrier. Somebody wanted to have it, right? So,
Yeah,
Divesh, according to you, what kind of skill set a learner can have it? Because a lot of people, they are starting their career, right? So
yeah,
previously they were more inclined towards, I'm not saying that data science is not that much aggressively working, but of course you said rightly cloud is gonna be the future. So
yeah,
if they wanted to integrate or they wanted to start learning, what
yeah.
would be your suggestion on that? What skill set they should have it, and how they can grab those skill sets? So they would be, you know, will be there compared to the market demands, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say first keep cloud aside. That is what I would say. Prior to it, so if you are, I mean, first of all, what I would suggest is rather than jumping on the hype train, try and understand what data engineering is. Is it suitable for you? Is it something that you want to do?
Okay.
Okay, or else if you are much more comfortable with the hard code coding, and if you want to go with the front end, or if you want to go with the data sciences or machine learning,
Uh-huh.
I would say first, take a pause, take a break, uh, do a thorough analysis on all the hot topics right now.
Okay.
Okay, and try and assess yourself as to what would be the best approach for you. If you think that yes, I want to go into data engineering, well and good. The first thing I would say, do not touch any cloud technologies for the first 2 to 3 months. The
Okay.
first thing that you should do is learn SQL.
Okay.
No matter which cloud technology, no matter which tool you work on with, until and unless you understand SQL, it's very difficult for you to understand what is happening in the background. See, tools, technologies, what they do is they kind of give you a GUI or a GUI, graphical user interface, which
Mm-hmm.
makes your life as a developer easy. So I'll give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you an example of Azure Data Factory. Okay, it's an
Uh-huh.
ETL tool. When I say ETL tool, it's a tool that extracts data from source A or from a system A, transform it. There are two terminologies, ETL and ELT. We can come to that later, but more or less both of them work on the same principle.
Mm-hmm.
So you extract the data, you kind of transform it, or you first load it and then transform it. So the way it works is it kind of gives you a drag and drop utility. So
Mm-hmm.
for example, if you have say a customer data from one of your source systems. Okay, so if you are a telecom provider, you have your customers in a database, you want to kind of and you have multiple line of businesses, say postpaid, prepaid, fixed line. So every system will have its own way of storing in customer. So if you want to kind of create a unified data model or a unified data storage, which in the real world we call it as a data lake or a data warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those are both of them are mutually exclusive. But I mean, to start off with, you can think that okay, both of them are same, but there are different aspects to it. We won't go into that because that's a very long discussion on its own.
Okay.
So I mean, in traditional world, when the cloud technologies were kind of very nascent, okay,
Mm-hmm.
things weren't that developed. What we used to do is we used to have an on-premise system, say Informatica or Talent or any other retail tool, which would connect to these sources.
Okay.
Okay, extract the required information from them. Okay, and either directly store it in your data warehouse or merge those data sets and store it in a data warehouse. So those are two different ways of kind of moving on with your data lake or a data warehouse implementation. Okay, so with the invent of say ETL tools, say on premise or cloud, what happened was they kind of do the integration for you. They kind of create SQL in the backend,
Okay.
okay, to integrate those systems and kind of load the data for you. So what you get is a beautiful GUI, which according to most of us, I mean, what I would say is not many of us try and understand what is happening in the backend. So what basically happens in the backend is if you have five different sources, if you
Mm-hmm.
want to integrate those five different sources and store the data in one single database, you basically are joining those five different sources. Okay, so at the back end as well, no matter which tool you use, one way or the either way, you are doing SQL. So the first and the foremost thing that you should learn is SQL. You don't have to be a champ on it, because uh, it's a technology which you will, I mean, or it's a language which you will get accustomed to, which you will get comfortable to as and when you start working on a day-to-day basis. No matter which cloud technology you work with, no matter which on-premise technology, no matter which big data technology you work with,
Mm-hmm.
you would need to know SQL. Once you have, you can take up any database you want. There are multiple free databases, I could say. You have MySQL, you have PostgreSQL.
Mm-hmm.
You can also install SQL Server, Oracle. Just take any database, start learning SQL. So there are a lot of courses on Udemy. There are a lot of free courses on YouTube which will help you understand what SQL is, what it does. I think for most of our, at least in Mumbai University, or at least in India, in most of our engineering curriculums, we have RDBMS. If you are
Okay.
from computer engineering, you are going to have RDBMS. So you, one way or the other, if you are from computer engineering, you should have basic idea as to what, or I say computer sciences, not even computer engineering, computer sciences or computer engineering.
Mm-hmm.
So you should learn SQL to start off with. This